Hello, YouTube. If it seems I've been doing a lot of talking head driving episodes, it's because I have. I've been having to drive to take either Bill to his various doctors and appointments and stuff, or my own doctor's appointments, like almost every single day. I've been coming into work like early, like an hour or so earlier in the morning, so I can get off early to take both those appointments. Just got back yesterday from the neurologist, and that was an eye-opening experience. They had a scan from about 2 years ago, and they did a scan of his brain. It's X-ray. I don't know if it's an X-ray or an MRI, but there was an image of his brain, and like half of it is missing. Yeah. It's like you could see the brain, you have the left and the right hemisphere, and the left front part, more than 40% of it was missing. It's all black. It's kind of sad, kind of scary. You hear about strokes. Basically, a stroke is typically a blood clot, in the brain. But the damage it causes, like the brain basically dies. And in Bill's case, I would say at least 40% of his left brain is missing, dead, gone. And on the right side, it looked like there was some damage too, but not a lot. Just a little spot. Yeah, I would say probably more than about 50% or more Bill's brain is lost. So a lot of stuff is lost. The left side mostly, controls a lot of speech and stuff, which is why Bill's having problems with his speech. And it controls the right side of the body, which is why his right arm is pretty much completely paralyzed, and his left leg is partially paralyzed. He can barely move it. His left side functions fairly well. But that was really, really, really scary. Anyhow, the neurologist, said that, well, since the original stroke was more than 10 years ago, it probably happened in 2011 or 2012. He's already gone through PT. Went through PT a whole bunch of times, or OT, or PT, rehab and stuff. He said, he could reschedule Bill, but it would just cost a lot more money, and he doesn't know if it would make much difference at this point. It's been 12 years since the stroke, but the issue is money, because we don't have money. So going to rehab and stuff will cost a lot of money. So we decided for now, we're just going to let things be, because there's no money. But even if there were, I don't know if there's much that can be done 12 years, after the stroke. And he's already had the rehab before. So today I'm actually heading out to go back to his cardiologist, whom I've taken him several times already. The first was the initial visit. The second one was to do the MRI scan and stuff of his heart. And now we're going back to go see the results. So hopefully he doesn't have any further issues with his heart. Like if he has clots and stuff, or if they have to put stents in his heart. I talked to his sister, this weekend, and she said family history-wise, their father had to have stents put in his heart, and there might have been some other issues, but I was just in a fog talking to her, because I was like, wow, he does have family, and none of them are just stepping up, and I was kind of, I guess I was containing my anger, talking to her and her husband, because they said they had health issues and all sorts of other stuff for reasons as to why they won't take Bill or help him. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, so you got this janitor who was himself a homeless veteran just a short time ago, basically taking care of Bill completely all by himself. That's messed up. But I'm going to try to see if I can negotiate with them to at least help a little bit. Not even monetary or physically if they don't want to do that, but at least with their name and their credit. So today I'm hoping there'll be enough time after the cardiologist appointment. I'm going to try to take Bill to an apartment that he might be able to afford based on, his income. But he probably won't qualify because of his income. You have to have like a certain amount of money before you can even get a lease. And the apartment we're looking at is about $1,200 a month, $1,200 or so. I figure Bill could afford that based on $1,600 a month. That would allow him to use that money to pay for the apartment, as well as utilities and stuff. And then I'm going to try to get him, see if I can't get him on food stamps, so that money can be stretched out, and try to get him the free government phone if he qualifies, and any other free services like maybe rental assistance or whatever. That way he has enough money to cover his expenses. And the apartment we're going to look at, sadly, will not be a 3-bedroom, because I don't think it'll be a 3-bedroom. I'll check with them. But a lot of the areas here mostly have 2 bedrooms, and 3-bedroom apartments tend to cost like $2,000-$3,000 a month. So too high out of his range. The issue will be trying to get it so that the apartment complex will let Bill do the lease under his own name. I don't know what Bill's credit history is. It used to be good, but it's been not used for 12 months, as far as I know. I mean, not 12 months, 12 years. And his income level obviously is low now. So what I'm going to try to do is talk to them and see what they say, assuming that he can get the place and it's available and everything. Then I'm going to call Bill's sister and see if they're willing to help. Trying to see if they'll at least co-sign, which really you don't want to co-sign for other people, but in this case it's family. At least it will be for them. And since they don't seem to be helping any other way, I'm like, look, the least you can do is co-sign. He has enough money to pay the rent. So that's as long as as long as his ex-wife doesn't suddenly croak, or stop paying alimony. So, yeah, that's the plan. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I figure getting Bill into an apartment complex, even though it's not going to be a super high-end one, it will be a lot better than putting him into a mobile home. For the simple fact that mobile homes tend to be small. Also, during hurricane, you might have to evacuate. It gets complicated. If we're in Florida, like, I don't want to get anything beachside. I want to get something mainland, and beachside tends to be high anyways. But I definitely have to be mainland so that if there's an evacuation, hopefully he doesn't have to be evacuated. And I wanted 3-bedroom, but looking at the prices and everything, we're probably going to have to settle for 2-bedroom. And then I still got to negotiate with the leasing office to see if they'll let Bill lease it under his name only, and then allow a live-in caretaker, as aid to help him out. And then I got to negotiate with somebody. I'll be screening all these people and trying to find a good home aide. Hopefully a certified nursing assistant, a CNA, and negotiating it so that they're willing to, take care of Bill every day. That's why I really want 2 people, unless I can somehow negotiate 2 people to share 1 bedroom, which may or may not happen. I might try that, but may or may not happen. I know, people want their own privacy and stuff. So, but for them, it would be free rent and utilities. So, good opportunity to save some money. I think rent-wise, a single person would need to spend with room and utilities and everything about $800 a month. That if they're renting a room, in a multi-room unit. If they are renting by themselves, it's going to be at least $1,200 to $1,600 even for a single bedroom. So, I don't really see, or I can't see. I haven't been able to find any cheaper places than that. And, it's just because rent has gone crazy. But the wages are still having. So, we'll see what happens with that. Now, I noticed some viewers were wondering why I'm spending so much time and energy and effort on Bill. We're not exactly that close if you saw the other videos and stuff, but the big reason is this. If not for Bill, there was a 90% possibility that none of you would have ever known me, would have ever seen me on YouTube. When I was locked up in jail because of my very bad, nasty, messy divorce with my now ex-wife, the state didn't really think it was that big a deal because, the bond was only like, the bail was a bond was $1,000, which means the bail was only $100. I only needed $100 to get out of jail, and nobody would help me with that. $100 just to get out. That's how silly or bad it was. And I was in jail for 89 days, almost 3 months. And, it took forever. It took a whole month before I could even reach anyone, figure out how to sweet talk to the guards to get access to the phone, and try to get a phone book that wasn't all ripped up, and track down landline, because you can't even call cell phones. And you got to call landlines and see if the people will connect, accept the charges in the jail before they connect. So it took me a month to even get a call out to Bill, and it took him another 2 months to get me money, because he ended up he didn't want his now ex-wife to know, because she didn't want him to help me. Wouldn't let him help me. Nobody would let anyone help me, because they had all these crazy trumped up charges that aren't even true. So anyhow, Bill was the only one who reached out, where I reached out and responded and helped. And he could have just sent me the 100 or whatever to get myself out, but I needed more money, because once you get out, you have like 2 weeks to pay the police, the courts, and everything else. So I needed $2,000 to cover everything, and borrowed $2,000 from Bill. So he put $2,000 into my, you have like an account at the jail. He put that $2,000 in there, and I was able to use $100 to get myself out. Then I paid $100 for a taxi ride, and my sister's condo, and luckily she let me stay in her place. So if not for Bill, saying that he was gonna help bond me out, I probably would have killed myself. I would have committed suicide, because I couldn't believe the situation. I was like, this is really messed up. Anyone can see it's BS lies, all the crazy charges, and nobody would lift a finger to help me. They all presumed I'm guilty. People still presume I'm guilty. And the state even knew they didn't have a case against me, and then made further threats against my daughter. That's how they got me to take a plea. But, that's all in the past. Although it's all coming back to the situation with Bill. But that's the reason I'm kind of bending over backwards and doing everything possible, everything that I can personally do you know, even to the extent of risking myself, my safety and my family. Because if not for Bill, there was a 90% possibility of Des Moines not existing right now. And that's why I'm making the trip, make these 100 plus mile trips every day to go help Bill out. So you never really know, you know, what your kind deed can result in. You know, when Bill helped me, there was no guarantee that I would ever repay him or help him back or whatever. He didn't do it expecting me to help him in the future. He did it because he felt sorry, he felt sad for me. And that in a nutshell is how I feel about the situation with Bill. And although we're not like close, you know, he was my boss, and we weren't close or anything like that. We weren't friends, you know. It's not an issue of me owing it to Bill. Some people say, well, you know, you owed him and you've repaid him, and you can only repay up to a certain point. It's not that. It's that I wouldn't even be here if not for him, you know. And it's not just being here right here now. It's like thinking of all the. When Bill helped me, it didn't it didn't like fix all my problems. Okay, it was the beginning of my problems. When I came out, I had no idea how bad it was. You know, that my now ex-wife had run off and gotten another guy, and all the stuff happened, and then, you know, and then all the court stuff that would follow, and then the divorce case, and everything else, and all my credit being shot, and me becoming a homeless veteran, and still dealing with the state garnishing all my wages, and having to live out at the compound, and to go through all that sequence of events that lead to now. And, you know, it was a lot of sadness, a lot of really dangerous situations. But in a way, I think it gave a lot of people opportunity to show compassion and kindness to a stranger that was actually, if you just look at the what the state, the government, and everybody else is saying, well, not the government per se, but the state of Florida, I was a very bad man. You know, I was a bad person. And if you took that at face value, a lot of people would not want to help that kind of person, you know, with a bad record, and pled guilty to it. On the face of it, it looks really bad, even though it was all BS, it was all lies they had me plead to. I did it to protect my daughter from further abuse and damage to her by the state. But I think about all the people who had shown me kindness. Bill was the first one to start that road. And then, you know, you sometimes wonder maybe what the purpose of your life is, and I still don't know for sure. But I do know that since that incident, literally hundreds of people had the opportunity to show me kindness. Many were complete strangers, and then when I got on YouTube, people who didn't know me were chipping in. People who didn't know me were encouraging me. You know, viewers, basically, you guys. So maybe, you know, I was allowed to live so that other people could experience an opportunity to show compassion and kindness, which are, you know, some traits that I think the world is missing now. A lot of people are so afraid of reaching out to help others. Even family members, like you can see the situation here with Bill and his ex and his children and his sister and her husband. People are just afraid or self-centered, or whatever you want to call it, and they don't reach out to help anyone, not even a blood relative, despite, you know, whatever resentments and angers and stuff that may have occurred in the past. But in my case, I had strangers reach out to me. So not everyone is like that. But even some of the viewers, you know, I met them personally, and I know their family was really bad. Like, you know, you got like a little old lady who is ill, you know, who has cancer, was fighting cancer and dealing with cancer, living in a van, and her own children won't take her in, and she was helping me. She was sending me words of encouragement, giving like a $20 here and there, buying food and bringing it to me, that kind of stuff. I'm like, I didn't ask for it and stuff, but I guess she felt better. She felt good that she could help, even though her own living situation was precarious. So, you don't want to put yourself in extreme danger trying to help other people, but at the same time, people make their own personal judgments on what personal risk they're willing to take. And I had some people, that I thought shouldn't really be helping me because they're already in a bad situation themselves, or even worse than me. And they did reach out and help. So hopefully that fills you in why I'm helping Bill and going over backwards, and why sometimes it seems like I do something really stupid, like I help people who most people would say are undeserving, or they don't really need the help. Like the time I helped that drunk girl at the Old Galley Pier. Remember, she didn't have a ride. I guess her friends left without her and she was drunk. I gave her some money so she could get an Uber, or the time I tried to help Sherry, who was, she was like homeless and mentally ill, and also, I guess you'd say, had various issues, like including prostitution. Tried to help her, but couldn't really do much for her, and the police ended up rounding her up, and I don't know what happened after that. And there was the other girl that, was definitely a prostitute, and her pimp was trying to figure out why this guy would suddenly give her all this money and put her up for the night and try to help her. I don't know what happened after that situation, because the bedroom, the hotel room, was soaked in blood. The bed was. So I presumed it was her period, but I don't know. And then I had to pay for that cleanup. The hotel billed me. But those are things that occurred. Even trying to help Dawn. I don't even remember Dawn. And that wasn't just me. Connie, I know some backstories that you guys don't even know, like how kind Connie really is. She donated more than $2,000 to help Dawn, and I personally put in about $800 to help Dawn. And instead of being thankful or grateful, he was like a mean, bigoted a-hole, in how he responded and stuff. My wife personally went to try to help him at the hospital. Some of this, a lot of this stuff I didn't put up on the videos because, I try to stay positive and stuff. But, like most viewers know, who keep telling me, don't put yourself out for these people because you endanger your own life. Yeah, I know. Your own situation. And I do put myself into those situations, not on purpose. I mean, kind of on purpose, not really. I don't put myself there hoping that something bad will happen. I put myself out there hoping that a miracle will happen and that somebody can improve their life or their situation, even if only a little bit. Maybe not fully, completely, but maybe along, to help them along the route to get their life on track. But, more often than not, it fails. But I still give it a try. And I just pray that, that this extra time that I've been given with my life, that at least help one other person, if nobody else. So until next time, everyone, take care. Remember, the person you want to be, that you want to be as far as how you live your life and stuff, is the person that's living your life today and how you respond to situations and help others, or not. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.